Let's do some more solving linear equations. Let's solve this equation. Well, I have a number next to a parentheses, so that means I'm going to multiply. And actually, I'm going to use the distributive property and multiply 3 times everything in the parentheses. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times a positive 5 is a positive 15 equals 6. Now I want to get 3x by himself. So I look, I have a positive 15. I do the opposite of what I see. So I'm going to subtract 15. But remember, I need to keep the equation balanced. So whatever I do to the left side of the equal sign, I have to do to the right side of the equal sign. So I have to subtract 15 over here too. So when I add down, I get 3x. 15 minus 15 is 0 equals 6 minus 15 is negative 9. Now 3x plus 0 is simply 3x. So 3x equals negative 9. Now a number in front of a letter means that you're multiplying them. Well, the opposite of multiplying is dividing. And you always divide by the number in front of the variable. So we're going to divide both sides by 3. So we'll get x equals negative 3. Well, let's check that just to make sure that we're right. So I have 3, the parentheses. Now remember, x, we think, is negative 3. So I'm going to put negative 3 in for x plus 5. And I'm going to put a question mark and an equals because we're not sure it equals 6 yet. Now orders of operation say I have to do what's in parentheses first. So I'm going to have 3 times negative 3 plus 5 is 2. And hopefully that's going to equal 6. And yep, 3 times 2 is 6. Since 6 equals 6, I know that my answer, my solution to this equation, is x equals negative 3. Let's solve this equation. Well, anytime I have a number next to a parentheses, I know I'm going to multiply. So I'm actually going to use the distributive property and multiply 7 times everything in the parentheses. So 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times a negative y is negative 7y equals 0. So I want to get negative 7y by itself. So I look here. This is a positive 14. So I do the opposite of what I see. I'm going to subtract 14. But if I subtract 14 from one side of the equal sign, or one part of the equation, I need to do it to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 14 here too. So when I add down, I get 0 minus 7y equals negative 14. Well, 0 minus 7y is just negative 7y equals negative 14. Now when I have a number next to a letter, remember that means to multiply. So I'm going to do the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing. So I'm going to divide by the number in front of the variable, which is negative 7. But if I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other side. So I get y to equal, now negative 14 divided by negative 7 is a positive 2, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. But let's check that just to make sure that we're right. So I'm going to write the equation. 2 minus, I'm going to put a parentheses where my y should be, equals 0. And remember, we decided that y is 2, so I'm going to put 2 in there. So 7 times 2 minus 2 is 0. Hopefully will equal 0. Well, it does. 0 equals 0, so I know that I did it right, and my answer is y equals 2. Here's another one. It looks a little bit more complicated, but we're just going to do exactly what we've been doing. So first of all, a number next to a parentheses means you're going to multiply. And we're going to use our distributive property to multiply the 2 through everything in the parentheses. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times a negative 3 is a negative 6, or subtract 6, equals, now there's nothing to do on the right side, so we're just going to write that out as x plus 1. Now remember, what we're trying to do is get x equal to something. So we need to get the x's either on the left side or the right side. Usually, I like to get them on the left side. So I don't want this x here. This guy has to go. Since it's a positive x, I'm going to subtract x. But if I subtract x there, I have to do it to the other side of the equal sign. Remember, we need to keep things balanced. So I'm going to add down 2x minus x, or minus 1x, is x, minus 6 equals, Well, x minus x is 0 plus 1. Well, 0 plus 1 is 1, so we really have x minus 6 equals 1. And now it's just one of those basic ones that we've been doing. We still want to get x by itself, so the opposite of subtracting 6 is adding 6. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides of the equation of the equal sign. So I get x plus negative 6 plus 6 is 0 equals 7. Well, x plus 0 is just x. So I get x to equal 7. But you know what? We better check that one just to make sure we're right. So everywhere there's an x in the equation, I'm going to put a 7. So 2 times, now x is 7, minus 3 should equal, now x is 7, 7 plus 1 if we're right. So we're going to do orders of operations that say I have to do what's in parentheses first. So 2 times, now 7 minus 3 is 4. 7 plus 1 is 8. So let's see if we're right. Well, 2 times 4 is 8. Since 8 equals 8, I know I did it right. And that x equals 7 is my answer. Now let's solve this equation. Now this time, we have the distributive property on both sides of the equal sign. So we're going to do that at the same time. Now this part right here, don't let that confuse you. That's the same thing as if I had a pretend 1 sitting here. So we're going to multiply negative 1 through everything in the parentheses, okay? So negative 1 times x is negative 1x. You could also write it as negative x. It's really up to you. Negative 1 times 5 is a negative 5. Now once again, we're going to use our distributive property and multiply 2 times everything in the parentheses. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times a negative 4 is negative 8. Now we want to get all the x's on the same side, and usually we like to put them on the left side. It actually doesn't matter. But let's do that. So if I have a positive 2x on the right side and I want to get rid of it, I simply subtract 2x. Remember, we do the opposite of what we see. But if I subtract 2x from the right side of the equal sign, I have to do it to the left side of the equal sign. Now I'm going to add down. Negative 1x minus 2x is negative 3x minus 5 equals 2x minus 2x is 0 minus 8. Well, 0 minus 8 is just negative 8. So let's rewrite this as negative 3x minus 5 equals negative 8. Now our next step is to get the negative 3x by itself. So I look at the negative 5. The opposite of subtracting 5 is actually adding 5. So we're going to add 5, remember, to both sides of the equal sign. So I get negative 3x equals, now negative 8 plus 5 is negative 3. A number next to a letter means multiply. So the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So I'm going to divide by negative 3. I divide by negative 3 because that's what's in front of the variable. So when I take, negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1. So 1x equals negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1. And that's the same thing as saying x equals 1. Now we better check this just to make sure that we're right. Everywhere there's an x, I'm going to put a positive 1. So I'm going to rewrite my equation, negative, parentheses, now x is 1 plus 5 equals 2 parentheses. Now once again, x is 1, 1 minus 4. Now I'm going to use the orders of operations, so I have to do what's in parentheses first. So 1 plus 5 is 6. And 1 minus 4 is negative 3. Well, negative times 6 is negative 6. And 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. And since those match, I know that x equals 1 is the solution. If you need some more practice, go to www.piecrust.com. All kinds of free math worksheets with the solutions.